we can finish for this module. All right, so let me just check. Okay, just give me a thumbs up if you guys are already ready or prepared. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. At least 70% of you are already in front of the computer. Okay, so for the exercise number 4, here's the result. Okay, well, of course, you can play with it. So you can, loop until 101. So we can loop 1 to 100. So if I click compute, it will display up to 100. Okay, so 99 has a square root of 9801. 99 has a cube value of 97,029. So it seems that it doesn't fit the values. So let me just make this one a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's try that one more time. There we go. Okay, so 970,299. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the exercise number 4. So do you guys have a question so far? So you can also change this one into incrementing value by 5. Questions or clarification, guys? So there you go. It's incrementing by 5. Okay. So, for this kind of examples, especially if you cannot understand it, just by reading, just by, looking at it. So I highly suggest that you do this one, you do this one with your own visual, basic or visual studio. Okay, and then make it work on your own. So try to change some of the values, try to change some of the variables, try to change the initial value, and so on and so forth. Okay, so with that, you'll be able to appreciate, what's really happening with this example. So yeah, that's it for this example right here. So here's the solution. Okay, you can just copy that one and then just make some changes if necessary, especially if the name of the components are not the same. Okay, and then here's the solution using while. Okay, while, because the one that we're using before, okay, is do loop until. Okay, but this is the syntax or the code for the while structure. Okay, and then for the next example, okay, write codes that print the degree Celsius from 5 to 45. So the first thing that you guys would like to know maybe is the formula, okay, on how to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, so for us to be able to know the correct formula, so we can ask Mr. Google. So he knows a lot of things. Mr. Google, what is the formula from Celsius to Fahrenheit? Okay, Cel to Fa formula. So there you go. For you to be able to get the Fahrenheit, so just multiply the Celsius to 1.8 or 9 divided by 5 and then add 32. Okay, so that's how we convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So going back to our program, let me just show to you guys the ready-made your turn Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the ready-made program for the your turn activity. So supposedly this will be another quiz of yours, but since uh, I'm not really sure if you guys have plenty of time or enough time to finish all of those activities which I'm giving to you guys. So I decided not to include this one anymore. So I just decided to include a very, very simple uh, quiz. Okay, it's just displaying add numbers from 1 to 50. Anyway, so yeah, this is now the code for the Celsius Fahrenheit. But before that, let me just show to you the components. So we just need the button and then the list box. So in here, for you to be able to put the names right here for the Celsius and then Fahrenheit, so just go to the properties of this list box and then go to collection, and then you can hard code the Celsius and then Fahrenheit right here. Just hit OK, and then you now have the Celsius and Fahrenheit right here. Okay, so yeah, okay, just wait a second. There you go. Okay, so the one that we need to program is compute. Okay, so just double click that one and see. Yes. Do you guys have a question so far? Okay. All right. So here's the code for the Celsius to Fahrenheit. So basically, I just declared two variables. So one for Cel and then another one for Fahrenheit. So our initial value is 5. So where this one came from? It came from the instruction. Okay, right here. So from 5 to 45. And then it says here that uh, there is a step 5. Okay, meaning it will leap every 5, or it will jump every 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 until you will reach the value of 45. Okay, so going back to our program, so we now have here the initial value and then the ending value. Okay, so just make your statement correct. Since we're using while, then this must be true. Okay, so once this one became false, then that's the time that it will stop looping. So 5 is less than 45, so it's true, so it will loop. Next one is 10, so 10 is less than 45, so it will loop until you reach the value of 50, which will make this one false. Okay, so we have here incrementing value of 5, and then here's the formula, okay, on how to convert the Celsius into Fahrenheit. So when the one that I use is the 9 over 5, not the 1.8. Okay, so cell times 9 divided by 5, and then add 32 or plus 32. Okay, and then again, here's where we are going to display the result. So the first one is of course the Celsius, that is the first column, followed by the Fahrenheit. Uh, excuse me. Uh, uh, all right, great. So again, we have here the Celsius and then followed by the Fahrenheit. Okay, but then there is an additional called format. So I believe that I have already used this one many times with my past examples before, but then maybe this is your first time encountering the word F. So when we say F, it stands for fix. So when we say fix, it will only get the two decimals of that Fahrenheit result. Okay, so in here, it will give us two decimals even though it doesn't really have a decimal. Okay, so I'll show to you guys the result later on. But yeah, that's how we display the result for the Celsius and Fahrenheit. Okay, so let me just show to you guys the sample output, the working sample output. So 5, 10, 15 until 45, and then the converted value or the equivalent value of 5, which is 41 Fahrenheit, and then 10 is to 50 Fahrenheit, and then 40 is 100, 45 is 113. So as you guys can see, we have 0.00 in everything. Okay, because we have here a format fixed value. It will display two decimals whatever happens, okay, even though it doesn't really have a decimal. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this activity. So did you guys get this one so far? Just at least the idea. Okay, so as long as you're getting the idea, I think you're good to go. You don't really need to understand this 100%. Okay, since you cannot really understand this one in just one sit. Okay, you have to do a lot of experiments. You have to do a lot of explorations, analysis before you can fully understand what's really happening with this code right here. Okay, but if you can understand it fully, then congrats. Maybe you're a genius when it comes to programming. All right, so that's it for this your turn activity. Let's now proceed to the exercise number 5. So the bank charges 12%. So it's 12% interest, simple interest on the amount per annum, okay, per year. So write a program that allows the user to input the amount loan and number of years to pay. Compute and display the lump sum amount for each year. Okay, so just to give you a short idea, so every year, this company charging is charging 12%, okay, of your amount that you have borrowed. So if you borrow 30,500, if you wanted to pay it in 1 year, so you have to pay 12% of that 30,500, which is 4,000 something, okay, wherein you're going now to pay 34,160 in total, okay. So that's per year. So if you're going to pay that one in 7 years, so if we're going to use our calculator, so 12% times 7 years, so they have now earned 84% of your original borrowed amount of money, okay. So you are now like paying 56,120, okay, in 7 years. So it's like they have earned 20 yeah, 26,000, okay, from the original money that you have borrowed. So yeah, of course, the longer of years that you're going to pay your uh, loan, of course, the higher the interest that they will earn from you. All right, so here's how they compute the amount that you're going to pay in total. So we have the amount is equal to P, which is the amount to loan. Okay, that's the principal amount times 1 plus R times T. So our R is a fixed value of 12% or 0.12. And then T is depending on your input right here. Okay, that's the number of years you wanted to pay the amount that you have borrowed. All right, so here's the code for this one. So feel free to copy this one and paste it on your own Visual Basic and then make this one work and then try to make some changes with the formula. Try to maybe change the variables, change the interest rate instead of 12%, make it maybe 3% to make it more realistic, okay? Or 1% maybe because that's now the amount or interest that banks are charging nowadays. 1% or 3% or 2%. So correct me if I'm wrong because I've never loaned e-money, but as far as I know, it's around 1 to 3% depending on the bank. Okay. All right. So let me just show to you guys the sample working program of that one. Uh, what is that one? Exercise number 5. Okay, so again, if ever that you have a question, so feel free to ask me. Okay, anytime, just raise your hand. So whatever we have on the interface, I just made it as the same as possible. Okay, I have two labels, a button, two text box, and then a list box. So in here, okay, as you guys can see, we have a label of year and then amount per year. Notice that I didn't put anything on my collection. Okay, I don't actually have a header or a title like the year and then the amount. Okay, that's because I have put it inside of my code. Okay, for the header or for the title, I have included it in here, wherein I put here list box one that items add, and then I hard coded the word here, and then NVB tab. So again, it will give me 5 spaces, okay, to the next text, which is amount per year. Okay, so that's it for the title. So I just basically declare the necessary variables, so amount, P, T, and then R, which is already equated to 0.12 because it has a fixed value. Okay, and then of course we will start with 1. So this is the year. Okay, this is the minimum, okay, that will be displayed right here. Okay, so you won't be able to borrow money if you wanted to pay it maybe in 6 months. So the minimum is maybe, yeah, maybe you can pay that within that year, but of course you're still going to pay the entire year interest fee. Okay, so it will not be deducted if even though you paid before the due date of that year. So it will be already considered as a count of 1 year. Okay, So in here we have the formula. Okay, whatever is being put in here. Okay, I just make it as the same as possible. Okay, which is now the same as one. And then I will display the result inside the list box. Okay, so the first column is of course the year, okay, which is the, and then followed by the amount. Okay, wherein I added another uh, things, let's say the dollar sign, and then I formatted the result format into fixed. Again, it will get two decimals only. All right, and then it's incrementing by one depending on the years that you have put in here. So if I click start, so let's say we wanted to borrow an amount of money of 100,000, and then you're willing to pay that one in 3 years. Okay, so they have an interest of 36% of this one, so we expect to pay 136,000 in total. So calculate. So there you go. So first year, so 12% only, which is 12,000. 2 years is of course 24 percent of interest, which is 124. And then for the last one is 136. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this example. So were you guys able to follow? Okay, great. What about the others? You guys have the questions or clarifications that you would like to ask? All right, so I guess none. So yeah, that's it for this example. Again, I highly suggest you guys to recreate this one, make this one work on your own Visual Studio, and then try to make some changes, etc., etc. Try to experiment and then explore. Okay, so that's it for exercise number 5. Let's now proceed to exercise number 6. So this is another another computation, automatic computation for you to be able to borrow money, and then another computation for monthly, the annuity, and then the total contribution. So a bank offers a car loan at the rate of 15% compounded monthly. Okay, so write a program allowing the user to input for the loan amount of the car and the period of years to pay. So compute and display the monthly payments to amortize the loan and determine the total amount at the end of the period. So in here, we have the computation of interest wherein it's divided by 12. Okay, well that's because we are having an interest monthly. Okay, and in here the compounded interest is a fixed 15% or 0.15. So just do the math and then you'll be able to get the specific interest, okay, depending on the years. Okay, and then for the years right here, number of years to pay. So since we are talking about months, then it will be multiplied by 12. Well, of course, if you put here 1, then it's a total of 12 months. If you put here 2, then that's a total of 24 months. So it's just basically being multiplied by 12. Okay, whatever is your input in here. And then for the amount to loan, right here, the letter A, okay, and then how we compute the total contribution for the letter B. So we have this formula right here, okay. However, there is actually a correction regarding with this formula. So this denominator must be at the top, okay, at your numerator. And then this numerator of yours right here should be at the bottom, okay. So just interchange those two. Numerator will go to denominator, and then denominator will go to numerator. Okay, so yeah, that's the only correction we have here. This the code, working code of that one, and let me show to you guys the working program of that sample. Step number 6. Yeah, is this it? Yeah, this one. All right, so I just simply copied the code from this example. Okay, so whatever I have right here right now is quite the same with this one. Okay, it's just that the name of list box is not the same with mine, since the one that I'm using is uh, the normal or the default name of my list box. So in this example, it was already modified. Okay, the same with numeric up down. So in my case, it's still numeric up down one. All right. So again, for the title, okay, so I didn't put the title in here because they are actually hard coded. Okay, in this code right here, you have the month, the annuity, and then the total. All right, and then here's how we compute the amortization. So again, just interchange those two right here, and then you will get the same result as being shown in here. Okay, so let's go back on my code. And then here's now how I display the items on my list box. Okay, so the first column is M, okay, which is the initial value, which is 1. So this is the year, okay, followed by the amortization. So amortization is being solved right here using this formula. And then total amount is being uh, displayed using this formula. So whatever is the previous amount will just be added with the amortization, okay, that you have calculated in here. And it's incrementing by 1. And then yeah, that's it for the code of that or of this example. So let me show to you guys the working program of this one. So let's say we wanted to borrow an amount of, let's say, 100,000 again. Okay, and then I'm again willing to pay that one in 2 years. So a total of 24 months. So compute annuity. So my monthly payment is 4,448. So until I reached a value of 116,369. Okay, so it's like they have a profit of 16,000. Okay, because what I borrowed is 100,000 with an interest rate of 15%. Okay, every year. Then this is what they will earn. Just deduct 100,000 from that. All right. So yeah, that's it for this exercise number 6. So I hope you guys got the idea, okay, or the logic behind this one and what is really happening. So question so far. So what can you guys say regarding with this example? Exercise number 6. Is it just fine, quite hard, or it's really, really complicated?
Quite fine.
Quite hard. Okay, not that complicated, but quite hard. Anyway, so again, you won't be able to understand this one just by looking at it, okay, and then just by showing to you whatever is a working program. So for you to be able to fully understand this one, it must be you, okay, to experience it on your own on what is really happening with this code. So try to change this one, try to change this one, and so on and so forth. Okay. So yeah, that's it for the exercise number 6. And then let's now proceed to the sit break. Okay. So write a code that prints the angles in degrees from 0 to 80. Okay. So step 10 and its equivalent sine and tangent in regions as follow. Okay. We have the expected result, something like this. So if you're not that familiar with sine and then tangent, so I highly suggest you guys to go back with the module 7 because that is a part where I have discussed on how to convert degrees to radian, radians to degree, okay, using sine, using tangent, using cotangent, using cosine, okay. So let me just show you guys the working program, this one. All right. So in here, it is asking us to convert the degree, okay, 0 to 80 degree into a radian. So if you wanted to convert that number or that degree into a radian, you have to multiply that number by math.pi divided by 180. Okay, and whatever is the calculated value, that's already the radian result of that degree. Okay, so it's not just math that sign and then enclosed by number. Okay, so it should be multiplied to math that pi divided by 180. So in here, we're just formatting whatever is the result of this one into four decimals. So I'm basically uh, showing an output with a four decimal result. Okay, so here is the formula for the sine, and then here is the formula for the tangent. Okay, so we have the initial value and then the final value, and then it says here that it has a step 10, so it's incrementing by 10. So that is why we have num plus 10 right here, and then we are displaying the results on the list box 1. Okay, so number first, followed by the sine, and then the tangent. So let me show to you guys the working program of this one. So compute, we have 0 to 80, and then 0 to 0.98, and then 0 to 0, yeah, 5.667. Okay, so yeah, and then let's try to compare if they are really the same or no. So yeah, they're the same, aside from the decimals right here. So this is not like the fixed value, okay, but yeah, close enough. So did you guys get this one so far? So again, if ever that you have a question, so just ask me, okay? Feel free to ask me whatever that you have in your mind. Okay. So you guys don't have a question. So again, I highly suggest to you that you must do this one on your own Visual Basic. So try to recreate this one, okay, and then try to edit, try to change some values, try to change the variables, etc., etc. Okay, so that's it for this sit work. And then moving on with the data grid view. So again, to make it simple, so we are using list box from slide to 23. Okay, so right now let's use data grid view. So list box is just a plain box, okay, which can list characters or elements inside of it. But in data grid view, this one is super the same with list box. However, this one is much more, let's see, advanced. Okay, it has more features that it can offer to you. Okay, so in here, for the data grid view, it allowed the user to add rows, it allowed the user to delete rows. Okay, you can modify the columns, rows, you can edit it, you can multi-select, you can show the column headers, you can even show the row headers. Okay, so those are the additional features that you can have if you're going to use data grid view. Okay, so let's have this example. So we have the 1 to 10 and then the squared of it and then the cube of it. So we'll use this example to show that this one is a lot more better than using just a list box. So we have the formula in here. So let me just show you guys the working program of that one. Oops, let's stop this one for now and then open a project. Mm, data grid view. Data grid view, yeah. Data grid view, squares, and then cubes. Okay. So what I did, I just simply copied this one, whatever we have, what components we have in here. So I also have that one in here. So we have the button and then the data grid view. It's just that there's an additional button wherein we can retrieve whatever we have inside of our data grid view. Okay, which is also discussed right here. Okay, here's how you retrieve the data from data grid view. So the first column, I mean row, okay, is cell 0. The second one is 1. The third one is 2. Okay, and then we're displaying that one inside a message box. Well, you can display that one inside of another data grid view or inside of a list box. But in here, we're displaying the result inside of a message box. Well, anyway, so again, the one that we need to program is this button right here. So here's the code. So notice that in data grid view, okay, we don't need to add the header anymore, okay, right here, since it's already on this code right here. So it's quite the same with the list box. You can hard code the header or the title, okay, inside of the coding section. So for the first column, we have the number. Second column is a square, and then third column is cube. So let's skip this one for now. I'll discuss what is the function of this dot clear function later on. Okay, so we started with 1, okay, and then ended with 10. And then here's how we compute for the square. Here's how we compute for the cube. And then we are displaying, okay, the result on the data grid view. Okay, so take note, for the title, we have dot columns, but for the results, we have dot rows. Okay, so before we're using VB tab, okay, and then the and symbol for the concatenation, but in here we don't need those anymore. Okay, all you need to do is put the variable for the result on the first column, second column, and then third column. Okay, but take note, this one is in rows, okay, because it's being displayed by row. Okay, and then for the button 2, so whatever we have in here, just copy this one. Okay, and we are just simply retrieving the value inside of our data grid. All right, so let me show to you guys the result of this one. So if I click this one, it will give me the same result just like before, but right now we now have a uh, row lines. I mean, like the divider, okay, row divider and then column divider. So we have here the row header and then the column header. Okay, so you can actually remove them if you want, but it's highly advisable that they must stay there. Okay, especially if you're let's say pinpointing some columns. It has an arrow right here. Okay, and then notice that there is an additional row right here. So it actually has a purpose so that once we reach this row right here, we already know that that's the end of the line of this data grid view. Okay, so in here, if we wanted to retrieve the value, so all we need to do is click this one, and then it will show to me the row 0, okay, which is 111, row 1, 2, 4, 8, until the final row, which is this one. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So this is the second to the last row, and then it will still read the final row, which will give me a value of 0, 0, 0. So again, once we reach the value of 0, this is an indicator that it is already the final row of this data grid view right here. Okay, so yeah, you can of course edit this one. Okay, you can delete, but you have to activate that one on the properties. But editing, so it's quite easy. Just double click and then you can edit that one. Okay, and then you can even change the so it's like in Excel format. It's like this. There you go. Okay. Uh, yeah, those are the things that you can do with data grid view. All right. So did you guys get the idea so far using a data grid view? Right. So only two. What about the others? Okay, so I hope you guys can follow at least a little. Well, I'm not expecting you guys to understand everything, in one shot. Just at least have an idea of 50%, 40%. That's already plenty, especially in programming. Okay, so we will stop here for now. Okay, and then we'll just continue this assignment next meeting, which is tomorrow. Okay, so we now only have 1 minute left. So if ever that you have a question, so it is now your chance to ask. Okay, if ever that you have a question in your mind. But if none, just give me a thumbs up and then you may now go. Okay, let's just meet again tomorrow.
Sir,
So goodbye and thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Okay.
sir.
Yes.
Chat box po.
Okay. So may kaklase po kami na di raw mali-L ang Visual Studio. So, dapat ako yung kinakausap niya. Uh, ikaw ba yun? Miss niya, ano? I think meron ka naman eh. So, tell him that he can message me so I can guide him. Okay? So, ako na lang yung i-message niya. Agad-agad. Hello, Miss Rani Ann. Okay, sabihin mo, huwag siya mahihiya. Napaka-friendly ko eh. Hindi naman ako makain eh. I mean, hindi naman ako makain ng tao. Kumakain ako ng pagkain. Okay? Well, anyway, okay, so goodbye and again, thank you.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
sir.
Sarap
Kinakain
talaga
mo.
ulam ko, Miss Renian. Sana ikaw din.
Ay,
Sir, hindi ko kumakain ng tao,
Alright. Okay.